welcome to Prime Property. I'm Nayantara Rai, and this is what we have on the show today. We question the lengthy, tedious, and very often the corrupt approval process hurting buyers and builders. Inefficiency by government apartments makes projects 7 to 10% more expensive for buyers. We travel south for the foundation of India's newest capital city, Amravati in Andhra Pradesh. We'll also take you to the state's makeshift capital, Vijayawada. Corruption is why builder Suraj Parmar of the Cosmos Group shot himself to death in one of his sample flats in Mumbai. In a 13-page suicide letter, Suraj Parmar outlined the harassment he was facing from officials in several government departments as well as politicians. These included difficulties in receiving approvals, issuance of stop work notices as well as bribes that Suraj Parmar had to keep on paying to survive in the industry. Builders tell Prime Property the approval process across the country has become unimaginably lengthy, tedious, unpredictable and depends on the whims and fancies of bureaucrats. Delays in approvals doesn't hurt only builders but also hurts consumers as their financial planning goes out of whack. Besides corruption, there's also the problem of officials not being in a hurry to okay projects. Decision making is slow and there are far too many committees that need to meet to okay real estate projects. This is a problem we're going to focus right here on Prime Property in the weeks to come. Today, we're putting the spotlight on the national capital region, that's Delhi and its suburbs of Noida in Uttar Pradesh and Gurgaon in Haryana.
For most of the states, the entire procedure from the time a developer acquires a land parcel till the time he is able to get all the approvals to be able to start marketing his project legitimately can be anything between 1 year to 2.5 to 3 years, depending upon the city and the state. Talking about NCR specifically, the time that is taken to get a license, first an LOI, then a license. In case of Haryana, we are talking about. From thereafter, the building plans, the zoning plan, environmental approval, airport authority clearance, fire NOC, permission to get permission for water supply from treatment plant, various environmental NOCs which form sub part of the whole thing, like NOCs from nature conservation zone, NOC from Aravali areas. All of this takes a pretty large time and which takes a toll on the investment that has been made. If you were to look at the same thing towards, say, Noida, Greater Noida, Yamuna Expressway, the land parcels are essentially auctioned or allotted by the state government. There probably the procedure is little shorter, but nevertheless by the time you get all the state approvals, including the fire, environment, airport authority, central groundwater clearances, the time is still anything between 1 to 1.5 years.
We all know time is money. So what is the cost of this lengthy approval process?
Easily, and when you look at the economic value of this cost, of this delay, because typically the land constitutes between 30 and 60% of the total project cost, depending upon whether your land is in tier 1 or tier 3 or tier 4 market of the country. So, and a developer essentially invests his own equity or capital, maybe with certain leverage from NBFCs, because bank funding for land is not available. Now, on that kind of an investment, which formulates 30 to 60% of the project cost, when you have a holding or a gestation period of 1 to 3 years, that interest cost itself, the carry cost of that investment, gets added into the project, which ultimately leads to a higher increase in the overall cost of an apartment to the home buyer.
Let's go city by city. How long does it take in Noida?
Look, when we talk about Noida, on an average, if I were to total up all the approvals that are required from the time you acquire the land till the time you hand over the possession and obtain the NOC, the occupation certificate, the entire series constitutes anything between 30 to 35 various NOCs or approvals. And mind you that each of these NOCs or approvals go through at least 7 to 8 people have to sign each file. So when you put that together, you're looking at more than 250 to 300 signatures which have to be taken in the entire course of the approval process in a project in Noida.
Wow, 250 to 300 signatures to get approval for a real estate project. That's in Noida. What's it like in Gurgaon?
Gurgaon would be slightly higher here because being a freehold in nature, developer acquires the land from the landowners and thereafter applies for a letter of intent and LOI, which itself requires submission of a large number of documentation to prove your eligibility and then to prove your ownership of land, etc. And once all that is cleared, you are granted a license in which again you have to comply with several conditions. So I think in Gurgaon the overall number of permissions that one has to go for ranges between 40 to 48, and the number of signatures are anything in the tune of about 450 to 500 signatures.
So clearly Gurgaon is worse off than Noida. What I want to ask you next is, where does all of this leave the buyer? You know, have you done any kind of a study on how much more expensive it gets for the buyer?
Yeah, you know, the carry cost or the time value of the money which has been invested in the land and then waiting idle till the approvals have been obtained and the permission has been granted to start the project can easily constitute 7 to 10% of the project cost.
Have I got it right? You're saying the carrying cost for a buyer is 7 to 10%. That means 7 to 10% of the property price. That's how much more expensive it gets for the buyer?
Easily, and we are talking about what right now that's 1 year to 2 year kind of a time period. Brings this kind of a cost on the project. So obviously if there is a better mechanism, if the states become proactive, and for this CREDAI has been submitting it for a long time for a single window mechanism, and I'll just take a moment to explain that. What we are saying is that 90% of the approvals are at state level. If the state urban development body, whether it's a municipal corporation or a development authority, formulates a multi-agency committee where the competent representative of each of the departments which have to grant NOC or an approval for a project, constitute that particular authority. So once the application has been put up to that authority, it is cleared from that one single committee, instead of the developer running from pillar to post from various departments one after the other. That is one. And secondly, when everything is getting automated in our country, when coal blocks are being auctioned online and when passports can be applied for online, I think it's high time that the state mechanism makes their approval process also automated.
Even if the politicians, even if the parliament talks about time-bound approvals, there's no guarantee the bureaucracy is going to play ball. You still need so many approvals from so many committees. In so many instances, the committees don't meet at all, or they have to still be set up. For example, in Tamil Nadu, for 2 years, there was no environment committee. In Haryana, there was no environment committee for 1 year.
Why can't these various committees meet more frequently? If they've been appointed for this particular purpose, why should they meet once a month or twice a month? Why can't the meetings happen, every day or 3 times or 4 times a week, so that the backlogs are cleared? Why should states have backlogs of 200 files to 500 files in various committees? So there has to be a sense of service that a particular service is to be given to the applicant in a time-bound manner. If there's an objection, it must be raised in a time-bound manner. It cannot be raised if say, suppose I put all my papers today and there is a 90-day time to provide the approval, then I should not be getting a questionnaire with 5 objections on the 85th day.
Next week, we'll tell you how deep-rooted this problem is in Maharashtra. For now, time for a short commercial break. When we return, we'll head down south and tell you about the foundation of India's newest capital city. Stay tuned.